All right, so let's talk about inequality word problems. When you're solving or when you're setting up the inequality word problems, you got to look for key information just like we did with equations. All right, so number one, a waitress earned $7 per hour at her job plus an additional $50 in tips on Friday. So when we're looking at this, $7 per hour, and we want to know which inequality best represents the situation where H represents the number of hours. So we know that 7 is going to go with H. We learned this with our equation. 7 is our coefficient. H is our variable. She gets paid $7 per hour, and we're solving for how many hours. Then 7 is my coefficient. So I know I have 7H. And then it says plus an additional $50 in tips. So $50 is her constant because that's how much she made in tips. So that's not based off of anything. So now I have my coefficient with my variable and I have my constant. She earned more than $99 total. So on the other side of the inequality sign, we're going to have this $99, but it's more than, which means our inequality sign is going to be the greater than symbol. Greater than $99. So $7 an hour plus $50 in tips is more than 99 or greater than 99. So my answer is 7H plus 50 is greater than 99. Number 2 says, which is the solution set of this inequality? So we know, we've been talking about how to solve this. I'm going to go through this. My variable's on the left. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. That leaves me with 2n is less than 32. Now I have a one-step inequality. So I'm going to divide by 2. N is less than 16. N is less than 16. Number 3 says, which graph represents the solution set of this inequality? So my variable's on the left. Now I start with my constant. I'm going to subtract 9. 5y is less than 15. So now I divide by 5. Y is less than 3. So all of these options show the graph starting at 3. But I'm looking for an open circle because there's no line underneath my inequality symbol. And I'm looking for an inequality that's shading everything to the left. So my answer is going to be D. Joseph has at least 296 photos. At least is going to be a key word for us when we figure out our inequality symbol. He bought an album that holds 6 photos on each page. Which best describes the number of photo album pages he will use? So there is no constant that goes on the side with the variable. The only thing we have on that side with the variable is going to be the 6 photos per page. And we're looking for how many pages there are. So that's going to be 6 P, at least means he could have 296 photos, or he could have more than 296 photos. So anytime you see at least, that is going to be greater than or equal to. I know that it sounds that it should be less than or equal to because of that word least, but at least means the minimum amount that he can have is this 296, but he could also have more than that. So it's going to be greater than or equal to. Now I have a one-step inequality, so I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. So he's going to have at least 50 pages. Nope. 296. We're going to divide this. 6 will go into 29 4 times. 6 will go into Alright, so 6 will go into 56 9 times, and you're going to have some left over, so it's going to be at least 50 pages. Alright, number 5, Margot has $80 to spend. She wants to buy as many DVDs as possible after buying a CD that costs $8. The DVDs cost $18 each at most. What is the greatest number of DVDs she can buy? So we need to break down this word problem. She has $80 to spend. So she can spend $80, but she can't spend any more than $80 because that's as much as she has. So I know that this inequality is going to wind up looking like less than or equal to 80 because 80 is her total. She could spend the 80, or she could choose to not spend all of her money and spend less than that. So it's going to be less than or equal to. So now I figure out what's the rest of, or the left side of this inequality. She wants to buy as many DVDs as possible after buying a CD that costs $8. So this CD is her constant because she's already spent that money. Then she wants to buy DVDs at $18 each, and we're looking for the greatest number of DVDs that she can buy. So our inequality is going to look like 18 DVDs plus $8 for the CD is less than or equal to $80. So now I'm going to solve by subtracting 8 from both sides, and that leaves me with 18D is less than or equal to 72. And then I'm going to divide by the 18, and that leaves me with D is less than or equal to 4. So it says, what is the greatest number of DVDs she can buy? The greatest number she can buy is 4. Corey earns $20 per day plus $6 for every sale he makes. On Friday, he wants to earn at least $50, which best describes the number of sales he needs to reach his goal. So we're breaking this down to find the important parts of our word problem. So he earns $20 each day plus $6 for every sale he makes. So the $20 he makes regardless of how many sales. So that's his constant. The $6 is the coefficient of the number of sales that he needs to make. And he wants to earn at least $50. He could earn more than $50. He could earn $50. So my inequality symbol is going to be greater than or equal to. So $20 per day plus $6 for every sale is greater than or equal to 50. So I'm going to subtract the $20 that he earns that day. And then I'm going to divide that by the amount that he makes for each sale. And I've got that he needs to sell at least 5 sales.